So you want the banana boat to San Francisco? Okay. One more for Acapulco? Okay. Oh yeah, Polydamus, that's because those are the higher tier ones. Only I can use them right now. Unless you pay a fortune, and don't do that. But yeah, I wanted to be able to use those two emotes. So I can use them, but no one else can at the moment. Well, no one unless they pay for the higher tier subscriptions. But, you know, soon! A few more normal subscriptions and we can unlock another normal one. Okay, that's 2 votes for Acapulco. I'm sorry, Cantos. I'm sorry, that's 2 votes for Acapulco. We did go through San Francisco yesterday, by the way. On the first trip, so we've kind of been there. No one visits. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's tomorrow at 9 AM, okay? With airships, so airships are fast. Unlike the banana boat. Wait, how many crates? Banana boat is 3. This one is... Oh no! No! The cat showed up. Parked just in front of the screen. 4 crates. That's fine. You can bring everything on the airboat. On the airship. That's the button, right? Yeah. No, that's the journey one. Sleep until tomorrow. As night fell, I helped the kitchen staff to clean, earning £79 in fees and tips. Excellent. Morning, let's pick that button. It's gonna be difficult to play with a cat in front of the screen, but we'll try. I'll be using OBS for a bit. Embark, let's go. On the Reina Cristina to Acapulco. I remember something of what happens here, by the way. San Francisco would probably be the easier route. We boarded the Reina Cristina, a Spanish Torres Cuevero type airship. Its gondola shaped to resemble one of the infamous Spanish galleons of previous centuries. Except in miniature. The Manila galleons had been built large enough to accommodate 1,000 passengers, and to stock provisions for a journey which, unlike ours, might last upon upwards of half a year. We sure don't have that much time. Talk. First mate, let's talk about Acapulco. Talk about Acapulco to Panama? Unlikely. Havana? You've forgotten. Uh-oh. We need a route out of Acapulco. we might get trapped. The captain of the Torres Cuevero type airship swapped the Spanish flag flying from the prow to Hawaiian colors. The Mexicans are not fond of us Spaniards since the revolution, he explained. Spanish ships are turned away from the port. Surely they are not fooled. It was a thin subterfuge, if it even deserved the term. He shrugged. It is a little game we play in the interests of trade. We send our Filipino crew members to negotiate for us, and the Mexican customs house adds a hefty surcharge to our taxes. The captain clapped me on the shoulder. But do not worry, my friend. This is not my first run. Yeah, nothing bad's gonna happen. Ever. Let's see if we can talk some more. Hello, Captain. Talk about Acapulco to Dakar. That sounds a bit far-fetched. Havana. Talk about English poetry, so we'll be interested in talking again. Talk more about Acapulco. To Pitcairn. That's not gonna happen, I think. But that's fine. There we go. Didn't learn anything new. And that's kind of because, if I remember right, Acapulco is a bit of a special place. We smelled the smoke first, and then gunpowder sweetened by blood. Acapulco was just visible in the distance, wreathed in lightning-flashed smoke. It was impossible to see what was happening, though it did not stop the crew from offering several dark, ominous guesses. Are the Spanish trying to retake Mexico? I demanded of the captain, who looked bewildered. King Amadeo hardly writes me informative love notes, he retorted, before he gripped the brass-handled telescope swinging from his belt. He turned to the crew. I need a volunteer to climb the rigging and see what is up ahead. Sure. I'll do it. I volunteered rashly. Even Monsieur Fogg appeared to be too pale by a shade at this idea. The crew stared at me with a mixture of pity and awe as the captain wordlessly handed me his telescope, a pair of aviator's goggles, and a red handkerchief. Wave the handkerchief when you are secure, and we will raise the ship to give you a better view. I took a deep, centering breath before I climbed up the hatch and grabbed onto the ratlines. The wind buffeted my face, and the roar of the twin Antoinette engines seemed amplified. Behind the comforting curve of the envelope, I saw an endless, dizzying stretch of sky, and the Pacific Ocean glittering far, far below. Oh, cool! Remember, so earlier we were flying on the mechanical bird, right, with Carrington, who dared us out on the wings of the aircraft, remember? When he flew out from Mongolia. She's there. I felt Carrington beside me, in spirit. Her wild grin and wind-swept hair all but dragging me from the hatch. I began to heave myself up the rope. I was braced against the wheeling sky and impossible drop by nothing other than my trembling hands and feet clutching the rope. See, so we get some options because we've had some earlier adventures. Couldn't we just make the airship go higher? Maybe not. I mean, there's only so much buoyancy. And once you fill the hydrogen into the balloon, you're going to be limited in how you can adjust it, I think. Climbing, yeah, you probably don't want, pickaxes and stuff like that on a hydrogen balloon. I think that could be a bad idea. I looked up and planned my route, measuring the distance between the knots and noting gaps or frays in the hemp ropes before I placed my weight upon them. My acrobatics training gave me a certain dexterity as I climbed, and I saw rather than heard the airship's crew leaning out of the observation deck portholes and cheering me on. I ignored their howls of encouragement and focused upon my task. I felt in that moment as if I were born to climb airships, and laughed, sky-mad, as the rough hemp ropes dug painfully into my palms. I made it to the widest cross-section of the envelope and waved my red handkerchief. I felt the hum of the engines grow sharper as the airship began to climb. Each shudder and yaw was more pronounced, and I laughed and laughed and laughed with the joy and wonder of it, the utter impossibility of it. We humans are such ingenious creatures, my friends. It is so easy to forget when one's feet touch the ground. I extended the telescope of the ship as the ship bobbed into the air and peered through it at... the Bay of Acapulco, thronged with warships firing cannon at their city and lit with unholy fire as they listed and sank. I saw their flags and shuddered. I will not recount how I climbed back down, how many times I slipped, how my palms bled and itched, how I nearly pitched into the ocean. I will tell you I made it back inside and made my report to the captain and crew. The French army is besieging Acapulco, I said, and then I fainted dead away. Yeah, Countess, but you might... that might actually be possible, because you can buy gear. So you might be able to pick up gloves that actually affect this story. I don't know. Sometimes you have items that affect the storyline. So if you had a proper pair of gloves, that might actually be the case. Either way, the French are attacking Mexico. I didn't hit the button in time. The captain called the passengers and crew together for an announcement in the morning. We will leave the French to their business in Acapulco and head to Panama. So friends, do we accept this? Do we detour to Panama, or do we try to go into the war zone of Acapulco? What do you think? Yeah, it is, Kantos. It is a pretty well-made game. There's a lot of writing here, and a lot of things that interconnect. So what should we do? The Acapulco war zone, or the safety of Panama? Either way, it's going to be a challenge to move on, I think. You're thinking Panama? Panama is the safer choice for now, at least. Panama. Okay, well, let's go to Panama. I nodded eagerly and agreed. They are bananas? We can hope. Not wishing to risk traipsing through a city under siege, even if it was besieged by my countrymen. Monsieur Fogg was less sanguine about a change of destination, but made some calculations in his ledger and seemed satisfied. It is a detour, but not a catastrophic one, he declared. We tethered at Panama in the mid-afternoon. From the air I could see the snaking, gutted length of the canal under construction. Bright red and blue automatons threw clods of dirt and stone into the air. Oh! Yeah, the crew hurried us off the ship, unflatteringly eager to watch us depart. Yeah, we're gonna see the construction of the Panama Canal. Yeah, oh, this could be fun. I remember now. I think this is... Oh. If it is the story I think we're gonna get. Anyways, we have to wait until daylight anyways. Panama City seemed a town perpetually on the edge of disaster. A great number of the inhabitants had emigrated to California during the gold rush 20 years ago. The 49ers, as they were called, had left empty spaces which were quickly filled by new immigrants, creating a multiracial polyglot society. I went exploring to see if I could find anything useful to our journey, and stumbled upon the construction of the Panama Canal. Great quantities of stone and dirt were being thrown into the air, undercut by the whistle of steam escaping and boilers rumbling. Ooh, I don't know which of these choices are the ones I'm looking for. As I watched, a tall, sharp-eyed fellow in a pinstriped suit glared at me. You here to watch or work? My name is Passepartout, I declared. I'm Gessner, the crew leader, and I don't allow any watching on my dig site. He pointed to one of the steam shovels. Get in. I complied. Without a second thought. Perhaps it was the authority in Gessner's voice. Perhaps I was rather too enamored of the enormous power of the steam shovels. Gessner Jr. will lead you right, he pronounced with finality, caressing the bucket of the great machine. You called your machine after your own name? I marveled at his hubris. I designed all the steam shovels, but Fanchon gave them life. She's headed back to Haiti tomorrow morning. I don't know what I'll do without her. He nodded towards a tall black woman who was checking the fuel barrels, occasionally clipping a finger in a tarry black substance and tasting it. Oh. But enough talk. Time to dig. What could possibly go wrong? Exactly, Kantos. Exactly. I examined the levers closely before selecting the most worn handle and easing it forward. The winch squealed and began to raise the boom, and with a vibration that I could feel in my bones. After a few cautious experiments, I fell into a rhythm, raised the bucket, scooped the packed earth, unload and rumble forward. "You're a born excavator," Gessner showered me with praise. "Are you sure you have not done this before?" As I worked, I saw the woman called Fanchon move away from the site. If she was an artificer, perhaps she would be useful, but my shovel would not be stopped or slowed, and I worked into the night. "Your character is now courageous." Let's explore then. New paths. Let's see. North and south. South to Lima or north to wherever that was. During the day, I strolled the streets only to find myself face to face with Fanchon, the engineer Gessner had pointed out to me at the works. "Ah, the visitor from France," she smiled lopsidedly. Lopsidedly, yeah. "Have you come to take back your canal? It will not be so easy." She raised her fists playfully. "I was told you are leaving town," I said. She nodded. "I am indeed. I have she smiled, "a little craft of my own devising, but it needs a few parts. You know how these things are." Ooh. Go to the South Pole this time around? No, you can't go to the South Pole. You can go to a few other interesting places like Machu Picchu, if you want. It is possible. There are some throwaway locations. But I don't think this is the run for that. If you want to make it in time. We are doing okay on time, though. We are on day 39, and we are in America. What kind of craft? I asked, intrigued. She shrugged. "It is a kind of bird," she replied, "but she is, you might say, injured at the moment." Uh-oh. "My master and I are going around the world," I declared. "How exciting for you," she replied, though I do not think she meant it, and her eyes were moving away into the middle distance. "Perhaps we could travel with you," I asked, "when your craft is repaired." She looked at me, as though judging my character by inferring the way my parts fit together. "As I say, it will take some time to repair, or some manpower. Time and manpower. They are both realized by one thing." "Name your price," I told her. She named a figure, and it made my eyes water slightly. "Well?" "It was not unfeasible," I nodded. "We will consider it." "Very good," she replied. "I bid Madame Fanchon goodbye, at least until we decided whether we would afford such help as hers. I made my way back to Monsieur Fogg, only to find myself accosted by a group of Panamanian dynamite blasters. They were a mix of city boys and Choco immigrants from the villages, united by the dislike of the Haitian digging crew. Oh. They seemed keen to talk. "We are leaving Panama before our blood ends up in a vat. You should leave too, if you have any sense." "Where are you headed?" "We are making for Tabatinga in the Amazonas." In the Amazon. Chafil gave me a considering look. "We may have some space for men of talent and determination." I considered their offer. As I headed back to my lodgings, men who spent their days blasting through mountains could prove to be useful travel companions if we wished to head into the interior of this vast continent. Okay. Oh dear. We're certainly getting some options now. Let's see if we can sell anything. A dinosaur jawbone. Some sugarcane and a hammer! I need a hammer. A brass telescope. Worth a lot of money in Port-au-Prince. As always, I buy everything I can get my hands on. And a magnifying glass, why not? There we go. That's 4 suitcases. I don't think I'm gonna go for the sugarcane. Oh wait, Smith & Wesson is valuable here. Sure. Hold. So our routes, let's see. We can go by steam shovel into the Amazon. Oof! Oof, 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 oof. 6,000 pounds. That's almost all our money. So we can go to Port-au-Prince by air. That is expensive. Or nowhere else, right? Ah, whoops, wrong. I can go to Acapulco. By carriage. No. So anyways, Acapulco, all the way south to Lima, by gyrocopter, into the Amazon via excavators. I don't know, folks, what do we want to do? Expensive bird into the Caribbean, by steam truck into the Amazon. God only knows how we're gonna get out of there. Or we can travel by helicopter to Lima, or carriage back up to Acapulco. Which sounds the more interesting? Now, obviously, the shortcut to Port-au-Prince, which costs £5,900, is by far the fastest route. But, yeah. You wanna crawl back up to Acapulco, JJ? Back to the war zone? Or detour down here to escape the war zone? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got quite a few choices here, so... Usually you have like 2 choices, now we have 4. I don't know how we're gonna get out of the Amazon if we go that path, via steam excavator. That's why I wanted to help dig the canal, just to know what kind of a machinery we got to mess with. Acapulco is a war zone though, are you sure it's safe? We have time to go any of these routes, to be honest. We are at 40 days. We'll be fine. Down the Amazon and pick up a ship? Yeah, probably. Something like that, I don't know. But if you guys want Acapulco, we can head up back that way. Sure we can. So if that's what you want, I guess we can go Acapulco. Now you want Amazon? Make up your mind now, JJ. Anyways, yeah, folks. I don't remember any of these, to be honest. That's the thing. So, it's fine. That's why so even if I'm trying to steer you a little, that's fine. Amazon? Okay, fine. Let's go for the cheap route through the Amazon. Via Tabatinga steam shovel. Let's go. We'll have to buy another shovel. And off we go.